This segment is all about selling your business in today's economy. Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial, and this segment's brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. Joining me on this segment is Bill Roland with Transworld Business Advisors. Bill, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Tell us a little bit about your work and specifically let us know what are the types of businesses that you specialize in helping?
Sure. There is a very big market of small to midstream businesses. They call it mainstream business. Anywhere from a small mom and pop little startup restaurant that, maybe doesn't make a lot of money, but, it's a living to up to about probably a $15 million business. But once you get past that, they're more into mergers and acquisitions, but that's really our sweet spot where we're at. If I can talk to the owners of the business, that's the people I want to talk to. That's right in our wheelhouse.
When business owners and entrepreneurs launch a business and they're thinking growth, 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 how much thought have they actually put into the selling of the business? When they get to you, how prepared do you find them to be?
Well, we wish they would be more prepared, as we all do, but you're running a business. Most people live out of their business. So if you're going to think about an exit strategy down the line, you've got to tighten up a little bit, meaning you got to put that money back into the business. It needs to hit the taxes, needs to be clean. And those are the things, but we see a lot of that. There's a lot of cash in the industry, and I get that, but to maximize what you're going to get for your business, you've got to show really what's coming through the books there.
Since the business owners don't necessarily know what they don't know about selling a business, what are some of the preconceived notions? What are the big concerns or the biggest questions that you commonly get from them?
Sure. One of the big things, and probably the most thing we see, is people that think they are their business. Nobody's going to run my business. Nobody else can do this. Problem is when you market a business and bring a buyer in, that comes through. The graveyards are filled with people that used to run businesses, and a lot of those businesses are still running today after the fact. So I tell most of my sellers, pull yourself away, get some quality management people in place, secondary managers, things like that, so that you're there to oversee the business, but you're helping to run the business, not letting the business run you. So it's very important, if you were to come in to buy a business that I had to sell, to say, Bill, I feel like I can do this. I see they've got management in place, you've got your other layers, but that's the real important part, is making it show that the business does run on its own. And as entrepreneurs, we all think nobody can do it as well as we can. And there can be some truth to that, but the business will go on, and let people have those wins. They might have a lot of traits that you don't have. And I tell people, they might be great at HR. And in today's market, hiring individuals to work, which is the biggest problem right now. So somebody in that sector would say, I'm good at that, and they're not. So I see what I'm going to bring to the table.
So you mentioned some pitfalls there and some of the things that people overlook. And I do know, I've read a statistic that as much as 70% or 80% of businesses that go on the market end up going unsold. Are those some of the big mistakes or pitfalls people make with having themselves too much in the business, or what are some other big pitfalls?
Yes, there's a couple. Number one, yes, you are the business, and I understand that, but you've got to separate yourself, as we talked about. Number two, pricing. You have to price correctly. And pricing is so broad on the internet. I can take a business that I might say is worth 300,000, and I've got one right now for should be around 700,000, is listed at 2.5. Their financial advisor is telling them that that's what it's worth. But what we do is we compare it to real comparables, just like in real estate. We can show you how many other companies like yours have sold, where the range was, and all of that. And real comparables matter. So pricing is a big thing. Another thing is your employee structure. Like we talked about, you've got to have a good employee structure in place, and processes. Everybody likes processes that are proven, they're in place, they work, and go from there.
People want to buy a well-oiled machine. Great insight. Bill, what inspired you to get into this field and help business owners sell and with their transitions? How did you get started?
My story is much like a lot of business brokers. I had my own business many years ago, sold it through a brokerage, didn't know what I was doing. So I called somebody and found them, and wasn't easy to find them because there's not a lot of business brokers out there that do mainstream in comparison to real estate world, things like that. But I sold my business through a company, and 3 or 4 years later, I stopped by just to see how the guy was doing. And he said, "When are you going to come to work for me?" And it just planted the seed. And it's a great business to be in, but it takes a while to get started. You've got to build your base, and you've got to take care of your clients. 85% of what I do is referral work. It's just, I was sitting here today and I got 2 new listings of people I've worked with in the last 3 years. Just happened to find me and said, "Yeah, I'm ready to do something, either buy or sell." One of them was a doctor, and just got off the phone with her. And I thought maybe she was selling her practice because she's moving to another state. Nope. She opened a restaurant about a year and a half ago, and now she's moving and needs to sell it. So you just don't know what entrepreneurs are going to do because they're so unpredictable, and they're always on to the next thing. So it's a good business, but referral work, take care of your people, educate everybody you can about what they need help in. And I always tell people, advice is always free. Even if you don't use me today, if you get into a situation, call me. I'll help you through it, because if I don't work with you today, I will work with you sometime down the line. The older you get, the smaller the world gets, and the smaller that circle gets where you start running back into people. And it pays off.
Entrepreneurs are definitely unpredictable, and that's what keeps it exciting and fun.
Yeah.
So, Bill, before I ask you my last question, is there anything that I didn't think to ask you in regards of selling a business today that you feel is important to share with business owners?
I think the most important thing is to sell your business in the best light. So as your business is going, you got a curve and it's going. While you're doing well and you're feeling well, and you're saying, it's going to come a time, pre-plan it. Call a broker. I do a free business evaluation for anybody in the United States, where I'll go through and do an evaluation, say, "Here's what I think your business is worth." But prepare and get ready, because too many people wait till it's too late. Even if you open a business and you start getting into trouble, give a broker a call. We can help you to get out from underneath that lease or something else. One of the things I see is every business out there, somebody else is ready to open that business. And if you're not making it, they might come in and buy it up from you. Now you're not going to get everything out of it, but at least it can save you a little bit and get you back on track with what you want to do.
Sage advice. Bill, for business owners listening who would love to speak with you and perhaps get your help, how can they find you and connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can, my cell phone is 636-345-3426. That's my direct line. My email is broland, BROLAND at tworld.com. As I said before, advice is free. If anybody needs help with something, give me a call. We will work together later in the future if it's not today. So I love what I do.
Bill, this has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Hey, Mark, thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate it. You have
That
a
was
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Likewise. Thank you, Bill. That was Bill Roland with Transworld Business Advisors. And this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their businesses and practices, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.